With BlackMesa.com leading to more questions rather than answers, we decided to get a hold of this cryptic company to find out what exactly was going on in Massachusetts. All right, we're here finally at the Black Mesa facility. Well, that's what it's called, the Black Mesa facility. Here in, where are you going? No, we're over here. We're over here. Come on. Is this locked, do you think? I'll try the door.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to Black Mesa.
All right, we are here. I am Brad.
I'm Adam.
From Crowbar Collective. You guys might know who we are, but we don't know these guys here. So introduce yourselves, please.
Hey, I'm Charles, CEO and co-founder.
I'm Ed. I'm COO and the other co-founder.
So Black Mesa.
Yeah.
Is it the Black Mesa? Let's start there.
It's the real one.
It's the real one. Okay. This all started because Crowbar Collective and a bunch of our devs kept getting pinged online as far as blackmesa.com. It comes online. Is this you guys? Is this Valve? What's going on? Is this Half-Life 3? Before we got in contact with you, what was your experience? What basically happened on your end?
We updated our website. Completely random date. We were doing something else. Finally put a real website up. It was overdue. We were still in stealth for a while. And at some point I just started getting tweets going like, hey man, like people are looking into your like home address and your details. You may want to like change. And then we discovered days worth of threads on Reddit, Twitter, you name it.
Okay.
And you evolved from there, right?
It all went from there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like we're on Ars Technica and stuff like that, and it's like, holy cow, this is not how I expected it to be, hitting the news stations. So
Yeah.
it was an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, we didn't know what was going on our side because we kept questioning ourselves, like, is this Valve? I don't think it's us. And I reached out to Adam, is this us? Nope, it's not us. So we touched base with you guys. You were nice enough to invite us out.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. I think we're going to be able to see what you guys do here,
Yeah,
right? Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. Let's go. All right. So we got these fancy dancy lab coats. It's Black Mesa. It's a real place. Okay. They didn't make this stuff up. Even though those lab coats looked legit, we still weren't really sure what they did here at Black Mesa or if this was just one big ploy put on by Valve.
So our mission at Black Mesa is to really defend the world's medicine cabinet, is what we like to say. So modern medicine is awesome. Modern biomanufacturing is awesome. There's lots of great medications, therapeutics that are available to us now because of all this great technology. There's a flip side to that technology, though. As your manufacturing processes get more capable, they also get more complex, more fragile. So a vaccine, for example, like a DNA vaccine, may have 1,000 steps involved in its manufacture. It may be made in 3 different places with very sensitive processes. So we have a lot of capability in the system now, which is great. Yeah. More capability is good for everybody. But the system is a little more fragile. And so we are here to find those spots of fragility and develop protections against those, defenses against those.
Ed and Charles were then nice enough to show us a few of their machines and how they worked through their process.
So we have 2 sequencers here, gene sequencers. So if you're trying to figure out like what genetic code you have, this could be related to disease or just related to like figuring out ancestry and stuff like that, this is the kind of machine that you put your samples in. And so you can sequence any kind of DNA with that.
Earth DNA.
Earth DNA. As far as we know, there's only Earth DNA and not other kinds of DNA. But yeah.
We do not have any alien sequences for sure.
Okay.
So over here we have, this is a pharmacy freezer. This is the kind of freezer, a smart freezer that you see in actually a hospital pharmacy or like a CVS, Walgreens, what have you. These are programmable freezers and they hold all the medicines that are temperature sensitive. So often vaccines, is sort of one of the big ones, but also things like blood products. Sometimes they store things like monoclonal antibodies too. So these are an important part of the medicine infrastructure. This is a PCR machine. If you've heard about polymerase chain reaction, this is how you take a DNA sample and actually amplify it so that you have enough to do studies on. Down here, the thing you're interested in, this is our GCMS, also also called a gas chromatography mass spectrometer. Not an anti-mass spectrometer, but a real mass spectrometer.
Tell us a little bit about that image specifically and what we're seeing, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of talk online of where that image came from on the site and where you guys posted it. But what is that?
Well, that's the inside of a GCMS, a mass spectrometer, and we posted an image online. Some people, one person I think identified the right model, which is amazing. Really impressed with that person. But we also hid some secrets in that image. So I won't say much more. 3 people have already figured it out. There might be some swag.
Another ARG. So there's a chance that there's actually another ARG to do with Black Mesa, which is exciting. So be on the lookout for that.
What do you think the potential is to open an interdimensional rift using this piece of equipment?
Extremely low.
But
Not 0.
Just being cautious.
This is how science is done manually.
Okay.
Moving little bits of samples around and doing your analyses and such.
So it's not all machines.
It's not all machines. A lot of it's still old-fashioned human power.
This is where we assemble DNA into larger fragments. You can stuff that DNA into bacteria, and then that bacteria can start producing whatever that DNA is coding for. That could be a little green fluorescent protein, as well as it could be insulin. Most insulin today is made actually in a bacterial process, and we make some here.
This is our West lab. This is a sort of a newer section of Black Mesa, only opened in the last few months. And as you get the idea, bigger space, bigger machines.
Okay.
So like Charles was mentioning, we have the capacity here to actually do an entire biomanufacturing process from stem to stern, from starting with the cells all the way to filling and capping. And so this is the room where we do some of this stuff at scale. If you're making insulin, for example, it doesn't do much good to make tiny bits of insulin. You need to make it in bulk for lots of people to have. And so this is the room and the kind of instruments that you'd use to do that.
It's easy to look at all of Black Mesa's equipment and think it's a manufacturing-only facility, but safeguarding is still their #1 priority.
Our job is to defend the process.
Okay.
And so we don't sell the output of what we make. We just make it here so that we can help other facilities defend themselves. And so we will change the process all the time. That's why you see so much equipment moving around all the time. We have crates everywhere. Things are disassembled partially. We're moving equipment, reconfiguring the process to be reflective of the overall protocol or drug that we're trying to help defend.
Yeah, we're about defense here. And so when we do our studies of processes, we'll often find issues, places where things can go bad.
Yeah.
And so we'll let people know, say, hey, this is a place where things can go south. And so be aware of that and watch out for that.
So this isn't just following protocol for you guys or following the process. It's very much an innovative way of, is this process efficient, number one, or number two, how can we suggest ways in which to make it better?
Yeah, we follow the process, but we also kick at it and poke at it.
Right.
See what can go wrong.
A lot of people, when they use a system, they, hopefully they're using it exactly to their SOG or their SOP, their guideline for how they're doing it. But if you go outside that, you can break it, or nefarious people can use that as an intrusion method, right?
That's exactly right. Unfortunately, somebody who wants to do something bad only needs to get in once. When you defend, you have to work every day. And you have to defend every time, and that's really hard.
It was becoming very clear that Black Mesa was not only a working facility, but they had a real-world impact on the biomanufacturing industry. Luckily, we were able to sit down with Sophie to find out a little bit more.
Yeah, my name is Sophie. I'm the biologist of the group, so I'm the one who actually set up the lab, runs the equipment. I do all of the biology experiments that are involved in any project that we have going on. I've been here for a little over a year at this point. Well, I was looking around for something new, and Black Mesa needed a scientist, recognized the name. Talking to the founders a little bit, they're pretty cool people, and they seem very genuine about the way that they treat people and how much they believe in their goals. So it's definitely, I'm really happy I ended up here. I will admit, the reason why I contacted I was the one who messaged Ed on LinkedIn in the first place because I was like, there's no way that this job posting is real. This has got to be a joke. This is like an absolutely amazing team to be on because it's so interdisciplinary, and I learn a lot about technology and computer programming. Like I never thought I would be doing any of the work that I'm currently doing.
We make it a point to hire people from lots of different backgrounds with lots of different experiences. We have people here who have been in the industry for 40 years, who have brought 40 products to market, and there's folks here who are just out of undergrad, doing their first gig, really. We have folks here who are hardcore cyber, folks who are into robotics, people in clinical medicine, people who have English majors. We find that when you get a lot of smart people from a lot of different backgrounds, you mix them all up in the same place, good things happen.
Despite all the serious work they were doing here, it was very clear we were talking to fellow gamers. You guys are just big Half-Life fans in general, right? I mean, this didn't just come
What
from...
gave you that, Ed?
Half-Life, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Ed and I actually share a passion for some of those games of the late 90s and early 2000s, that vintage. We're big Counter-Strike players in the past. Half-Life, of course.
Yeah.
But ironically, many of my early forays into digital or cyber or modification was actually from the modding scene. Making maps from scratch, programming the bots, and 1.0 is a thing that I remember fondly. Yeah, or 1.5, I forget exactly which version they were introduced in. But
So I think what he just said there is if we're looking for another level designer, this might be the guy for us.
yeah, DE_Black Mesa.
Yeah, there you go. I'm down with that.
We weren't quite sure what to expect when we showed up. What we ended up finding was a tight-knit team made up of passionate individuals with various STEM and art field backgrounds. It's clear they care deeply about the work they're doing here, while also embracing the inner geek and nerd. The Black Mesa team has proven nothing is quite impossible. Well, interdimensional portals may still be out of the picture for now.
Don't touch that.
Black Mesa started as a passion project for us in Bits and Bytes. It continues at Black Mesa in Atoms and Molecules.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Black Mesa. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Ed, and the entire Black Mesa team for inviting us out. We had a blast touring your facility and seeing the real world differences that they were doing here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Is there anything that you can tell us about Half-Life 3? We won't hold you to this at all.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I can tell you that, sorry.
Can't talk about that.
Yeah, can't talk about that.
You realize how much mail we're gonna get.
This doesn't all have to make the edit.
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh, gosh.